Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Final Siren Podcast, or welcome to the Final Siren Podcast. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have heaps of content coming out over the next couple months, especially just before footy season gets back. So keep in tune with that. The BBL season currently going ahead, and finals is very near for the BBL season. So make sure you keep watching all of our previews and stuff like that, and our weekly wrap-ups like we posted yesterday. We're so fortunate to have Lockie back here today after he celebrated his 18th birthday yesterday. Lockie, how you doing today, man?
Yeah, good. Good to be back. I was keen to film last night, but big 18, you can't miss that. It's a milestone in your life. You can only do it once. So good to be back here. I'm sure you lads had a good time last night, and good to see people in the chat already.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you to everyone who joins in the chat and leaves questions. We will be doing a Q&A at the end if we do have obviously a bit of time left. First off, we want to talk about our top 5 sporting moments from this year. So what's going to happen is we're going to go through each number. So for instance, we'll each do our 5th spot, then we'll each do our 4th spot, 3rd, so on. So we'll start with the 5th spot. We've got an order of Davos, Faraz, Lockie, then myself. So Davos, you'll start us off here. What was your 5th most important moment of the 2022 sporting year?
Yeah, mine was Australia winning the Rugby League World Cup. Obviously, it's good to see some of my idols in there, like the Fox, DCE, Munster, Grant. It was really good to watch, and I get that the World Cup tournament there were a few blowouts, but at the end of the day, Australia won, and that really made me proud of them. They worked so hard, and they had so much talent in the world, and very happy. So that was my 5th.
Yeah, definitely. Faraz, we'll go to you next. What was your 5th spot in this topic?
For me, it's one that it is like a bit disappointing, but it doesn't really feel too much to my place. But it's still upset. I think it's Ash Barty announcing her retirement. I think that was a huge moment in Australian sporting because she's a big idol for those that not only just play tennis, but like a lot of people just look up to her. Even if you're a part-time tennis fan, like when you think about tennis, you just think about Ash Barty.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite sad to see her go. I feel like she was at the top of her game as well. So it was a bit of a weird one. It was quite a shock when it was announced. Lachlan, what about you? What was yours?
Yeah, so number 5 for me is the same as Davos. Australia winning the Rugby League World Cup. I think credit to Samoa though as well. No one expected them to make this grand final. They made it. Their whole nation got behind them. It was brilliant to see. I was low key in part of my heart hoping Samoa won it just to see the scenes of what would happen. But being an Aussie boy, born and bred here, it was brilliant to see to win the Rugby League World Cup and to see the standouts such as Latrell Mitchell, Addo Carr, name the rest, Cleary in all of them. Your team stacked when Cleary's playing 14. But I think for the Rugby League World Cup, it also needs to be looked at the pool games. I think the matchups, just the fact that Aussies would win 72-0, 60-odd the other week, like it wasn't great watching. It was pretty boring World Cup, to be fair, but good to see the home country get home in that one.
Yeah, definitely. I loved the World Cup as an Australian fan, but there was a lot of blowouts, which is why, spoiler alert, personally for me, it's not in my top 5, I don't think, for sporting moments last year. But it would have been probably 5th for me, if not for Ash Barty actually announcing her retirement. Just like Faraz, this one, it came out of nowhere. It was just a big shock, and it was huge. She was top of her game. Absolutely a brilliant player, and she'll go down as a really great player. And it's sort of sad to see. I don't believe she was too old. I'm not too sure of her age, but all I know was it did come out of nowhere. And as I check here, she's 26 years old. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but it did happen, and that's why for me it's 5th spot. Davos. Oh, sorry. Before I go to Davos on his 4th, if you want to follow along in the comments section, just feel free to say what your 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st best sporting moment in last year was, and we'll get to it at the end when we read the comments and give you our opinion on what we think. But Davos, your fourth one, I don't think anyone else has there, but I mean, it's custom made for you, mate. What was your fourth best sporting moment of last year?
Yeah, this could have easily been in the top three for me, but it just has to be Cameron Munster re-signing till 2027. My favourite player, he brings a smile to my face every time I see him on the footy field, and he's one of my biggest inspiration and role models. And when I saw the post that he re-signed till 2027, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just so excited, and I can't wait to see him take his game to another level. Not only next year, but for the rest of the years to come. I mean, we stuck by him through thick and thin, and he's repaid us. And I'm very happy for Cameron Munster and his family that he's re-signed with the Storm. So yeah,
That is a good one. It really makes sense as well. Obviously, you being a Storm fan, you would find that obviously quite reassuring that the best 5'8" in the game is
yeah,
going to stay with your club for another what is it now, 5 seasons. So
mm,
yeah, good on you. Very happy. I think everyone was sort of wanting him to stay at the Storm if it wasn't that he was coming to their club. So yeah, good on you, and good on Cameron Munster for re-signing. For Raz, what was your fourth
My
best
fourth
moment?
one was it was Australia beating Peru in the penalty shootouts to advance to the FIFA World Cup, and not only just it meaning that we go to the World Cup. I think the way we ended Peru's chances was amazing because if you look at it this way, in Australia, your main sports are cricket, rugby league, AFL, of course, then rugby union maybe. Soccer, football, whatever you call it, has never been a big mainstay in our World Cup edition. So beating Peru's national sport is basically soccer, who invests a lot. They've got the facilities. Beating them itself to make it there in penalty shootouts was amazing. The Andrew Redmayne Wiggles stance, that was amazing. Love to see it. And yeah, look, historic moment for the Aussies.
Yeah,
Can I just touch on this as well
yeah,
regarding the Socceroos? I think a lot of the footy fans say, "Oh, it's a pussy sport. It's this, it's that," but 95% of Australia, when those Socceroos were playing in that World Cup, 95% of Australia was watching the games. There was that much hype around the team in this country when they were playing. The game against Peru, your whole social media was just that. You saw
yeah,
the turnouts in all the main cities to the key spots in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, wherever you are.
Me and Davis were there as well.
yeah.
I think Socceroos didn't get enough credit for 2022. They were definitely they've got to be in everyone's top five for the year because it was one of the biggest moments in our history of soccer.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, by the way, boys, feel free to jump in on any of the picks. If you disagree with it, we'll have a little debate about it. I'm happy to do that. I'm sure it makes entertaining. It makes some entertaining talk for the viewers. But yeah, if no one else has anything to say about it, I think we'll move on to Lachlan's fourth. And Lachlan, your one is another one no one has.
So my fourth is a bit for AFL fans. It was a huge night. I mean, if you follow the sport, if you don't, most people know who Lance Franklin is, as known as Buddy. But at the SCG, it was hyped up for weeks. Was he going to do it? Was he going to do it? He did it in front of his family at his home ground. Kicked his 1,000th goal. There was fans jumping the fence while he was lining up, and the whole stadium ran onto the field. It brought a tear to everyone's eye, I think. I was watching there. I was speechless. I didn't know what to think. There was players ending up on the outside of the stadium because fans are ambushing. There was a bit of this, bit of that. But in the history of the AFL and Australian sporting history, this has got to go down as one of the greats. There's not many players who have 1,000 goals, and Buddy Franklin can put his name on that board.
Also, the funny side of that is, well, like on the other side of Sydney, there was literally a Roosters Rabbitohs match going on, a big derby match, and then this goal itself like beat the whole entire headline of that match as well.
I mean, credit to Franklin. I mean, he's probably one of the greatest modern key forwards I've ever seen in the game, and very good bloke and very good player, and he deserved that 1,000th goal. Sorry, so yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. I'm not going to say much on the matter because I don't really watch AFL. I'm trying to get into it though, just for the Final Siren podcast. I'm trying to get into it, but I did see when it happened. I did see my whole social media blow up. Every second post when I was scrolling my feed was of the 1,000th goal. So congrats to him, and it really was a big moment in sporting history. So and yeah, I'm not too sure how many people have got it, but from what Lachlan was saying before, I'm guessing it's not too many, and it would be quite an achievement, especially considering the AFL lets you storm the field when a
Well,
player
I
gets
mean,
a goal.
they're not supposed to, but there was during the
But there's
week
just too many people. Just too many.
someone brought up to Gil McLaughlin, who was the CEO at that time, what are you going to do if fans run onto the field? And his response was, we can't stop them. So
Yeah,
as soon as that was said, we knew it was going to happen. And as soon as Buddy marked the ball, there was people already over the fence. So, and to
yeah.
the guy who caught the 1,000th goal football, he put it under his shirt and ran to a taxi. There's another whole story on that, but
Oh yeah, that was funny.
he gave the ball back to Buddy, and he was given, I think, a lifetime Swans membership and a signed jersey from Buddy and a few things. So he won the deal there.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a hostage situation there. My goodness. For me, it's pretty simple. I know you boys have this a bit higher. For me, it's Queensland winning the Origin series. Now, if you asked me this during footy season, this could have been won. It was. I love watching Queensland win, and no one likes losing an Origin series. Everyone loves winning an Origin series, and it could have been higher for me. I just feel like there was more sporting moments last year that just had more of an effect on the entire sort of population, not only of Australia, but some even the world, which we'll get to soon. But for me, Queensland winning the Origin series on enjoyment level, this is would probably be number one for me. But as much as the size of how much of an effect it had last year, I think it was for me. It wasn't as high as some of the others, but it is what it is. I know you boys will obviously have it a bit higher, so we'll get to that when we get to that, though. Davos, in third place. You've got a few picks that no one else seems to have, but when the more you explain them, the more I'm agreeing with them. Would you like to explain your third pick?
Yep. So my third pick is Australia smashing England, our arch rivals, in the Ashes 4-0. Obviously, it's a great occasion playing England. You know, they're a quality team in cricket, and when we verse each other, it's a big rival. And to not see them win a game in Australia in a Test match for, I think it's like 11 years, 12 years, it's a good feeling. And I was very proud of a lot of the Australians, Scott Boland as well, to come in and bowl the way that he did. Travis Head was outstanding with the bat throughout the whole tournament. Not tournament, the series. I mean, he was fantastic. And obviously Marnus was outstanding. You know, I was very proud of Australia and the way they conducted themselves. And yeah, very, very happy.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody else have anything to say on Australia winning the Ashes 4-0?
All I say is
Scott Boland, just take a bow. And for those fans that are trying to say that, like, oh, Australia's, or it relates to the Ashes in England, like, oh, we drew the series and we're celebrating. At least we won 2 matches there in overseas conditions.
Mm.
Sorry, Lachlan, what was that you said before?
I mean, I guess it all started at the Gabba day one, first ball of the series, and Rory Burns was bowled around his legs. I mean, that's where it all began, and it happened the whole series. So.
Out of all the 5 tests, which one was your favorite victory? Mine was the Adelaide test, to be honest.
I'd have to.
That's probably Boxing Day at the G.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'd probably have to say Boxing Day.
I don't remember which grounds they were. Like, I think the MCG test was definitely really good. But for me, my favorite was probably this. That last Ashes was my first Ashes. Actually sitting down and watching Test cricket, and it was magical. That first ball, obviously, you don't expect anything to really happen from the start. Obviously, the ball's swinging a bit, but you don't expect a wicket first ball, and it was crazy. I was up and about, and it's a memory I'll never forget. And now I'm sort of questioning my own list here because I'm going to stick with it. But yeah, the Ashes last year, I think the only thing that's keeping me from putting it on my list is it sort of started in 2021 and then sort of ended 2022. So yeah, it is. I guess we'll talk about that when we get to it. But for us,
I do feel like with the Ashes, it feels better when you win in England than it does in Australia.
Yeah, that is true. You spoil their parties. So
I haven't experienced that yet, so I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for it this year. I think it is. So for us, Let's hear yours though. Let's hear your third spot.
Well, this is the one that we just talked about just recently. Queensland winning the Origin series, just hands down. Look, if you sort of look at this sporting moment, right, and you compare it to last year's Origin, that creates a perfect documentary. You go to all games in Queensland, you're getting pumped 50-6 by your arch nemesis. It's state versus state. You don't understand the toxicity of this rivalry. You're getting smashed 56 and whatnot. Then you're embracing that suffering for 1 year. Because trust me, all us Queensland fans had to cop it. I had to cop it from my best mate every day. And then you go into the new series in Sydney, first game. First game in Sydney. You haven't won there for 3-4 years. You beat them. You can, despite all the odds about the talk about your captain, the players you selected, you still get a squad, a young squad, and then you beat them, and you beat them in the Origin series. They come back stronger in the second game, but you don't let your guard down, and they came back strong. It was such a fantastic game. Credit to New South Wales, they played extremely well, but Queensland have shown again this Queensland spirit and why they've lived up to that name. Players, even though we lost Collins, we lost Cobbo, no Munster, no worries. Deedon came and did a job, and that's what Queensland spirit's all about. And that reflected in this series. And it's more than just a victory, trust me.
Yeah, definitely. Again, like I said earlier, it could have been higher for me on enjoyment levels. It or the Ashes was probably one for me. Probably the Ashes actually was first for me last year. Origin, Origin, it's different. Like, it depends what type of. It depends if it's footy season or cricket season. But yeah, so I'm not too sure. But we'll move on to Lockie's third place spot. Lachlan, talk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it before, but for me, it's got to be Socceroos at 3. The whole nation stopped to watch this team. We could have easily drawn with Argentina to go through to penalties. That didn't work out the way it was. Argentina won the World Cup, so you can't really complain. Everyone knows who Messi is, and everyone was cheering for Messi apart from I Show Speed. If you're a 12-year-old, you know who he is. But yeah, for me, it's got to be Socceroos making the knockouts. I mean, I'm not a soccer fan myself. I watch it if it's on. I watch Premier League, I watch the A-League, but not really enjoy much. But you had to stop every morning, after an early morning, and watch the highlights of the Socceroos the night before, because all you could see on the social media was how good the game was and how hyped everyone was.
Yeah, definitely. It was. It really was. It was plaguing the whole feed, especially of Australians. And yeah, the Socceroos. I'm still dirty at myself. I told myself I was going to wake up and watch the Australia versus Argentina that game, and I slept through my alarm to watch the game. So that's the last time I'll get to watch the Socceroos play for 4 years. So, I mean, it is what it is, but it is very disappointing, and it was great watching the Socceroos this year.
You would have never imagined how it was like for the nation when we scored the first goal. The whole of Sydney, we were there. I was there at Darling Harbour, but the whole city went off literally. Like, funny thing was, like, I went to the bathroom for a break. I could hear all the cheering and whatnot.
Yeah,
such a time.
It really was. It was like I did watch a few of the games, and although I reckon soccer's not my favorite sport to watch, it was there was something about that atmosphere of seeing the Socceroos make it to the round of 16, and I still get chills about it. But my third place, I know none of you boys have this on here, and for me, enjoyment level probably not as high as this, but it really was a big, even then not as big a moment as people think. But for me, my third spot was Kokonakis and Kyrgios dominating the Australian Open's doubles.
That's a good one.
I watched because I was sitting there watching that at my dad's house on my phone, and seeing how they play together, it was dominant. It was really fun to watch. And I've never been a tennis fan by any means, but it was really nice to watch how they play. And yeah, for me, it gets third spot. I originally had it at fourth, and I moved Queensland down only just because, like I said, I don't think it was as big as the Australian Open's doubles. But seeing them win it was something special, especially considering it was an all-Australian. Well, it wouldn't be too hard to get an all-Australian final on that, but yeah, it was special to watch. Really dominant, and it was one of the sporting highlights of the year for me, definitely. So Davos, take us into your second pick. Let's hear about it.
Yep. So my second pick is the Socceroos making it to the knockout stage against Argentina. Obviously, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I didn't expect much from the Aussies. I thought at best, we'd come probably third in our group, but the way that we played, we just played like we were a team on a mission, and we wanted to shut up all those haters and doubters. And I'm, even though we got knocked out in the knockout stage, I'm just so proud of the Socceroos for the way they conducted themselves, and players like Ryan, our goalkeeper. You got Aaron Moy, you've got Sutar. They
Matt
were
Ryan.
fantastic. What'd you say?
Did you mention Matt Ryan?
Yeah, I did mention that,
Ryan.
Ryan. Yeah, he was fantastic throughout the whole tournament, and every single player that donned that Socceroos jersey did everyone proud. And I was in Fed Square watching the game, and just to see how passionate we are about the Socceroos. I know for a fact that the next World Cup will come back even better and stronger, and every Australian in this country should be proud of the way that we did at that World Cup.
You know what the most beautiful thing about that part though is that when you look at it, you could have also just been like, if we actually didn't make that silly error and let that go in, we could have won that game. And that makes me proud knowing that we can compete with these top tier sides.
We can. Yeah, but like I get that, and I do.
Didn't we knock off? Was it Denmark? Or
Yeah, we
someone?
knocked off Denmark. We knocked off.
And the funny thing about that is that like I think it was France playing who was I don't know who they were playing or something, and they scored their goal. And when they scored their goal, it affected me on the ladder that we couldn't make it through because they would go on like same points as us, and then we scored the next goal right after, just when it looked like our World Cup was going to end. So that was really funny, but a really fine moment for us.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, watching some of those highlights in the morning really like I didn't know the results to them, especially that I think that Denmark game I didn't know the results.
Tunisia it was. Yeah, it was Tunisia.
Yeah, was that the final? Sorry, was that the final?
That was okay. So Australia were playing Denmark, and Tunisia were playing like France on their last game day. Like,
but yeah, not knowing the results of, I woke up in the morning, made sure not to check anything, then watched the highlights, and it was something special. I've never really done anything like it. Faraz, your second place. Talk us through it.
So it's the Argentina France World Cup final. I had my mates over. We're looking forward to this. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been a football soccer fan for too long, but I've known like this, and like this was a bold prediction from like one of my mates to have this as a final because these were like the two top tier sides. Argentina, they started off their World Cup campaign a bit slow, shock loss to Saudi Arabia, but showing their class, they came back through, beat the likes of Netherlands and whatnot. Got past the Aussies, France. Looking for a double back to back. Mbappe, one of the finest young players we have in the game right now, going up against his teammate in Messi, who played for PSG in the same team outside FIFA World Cup. It was such a beautiful game. From the outset, even though Argentina led 2-0, they were all over them. France came back. Mbappe scored a double, one via a penalty goal. And then Messi scored the winning touch. It was beautiful. And like my whole house went crazy. It was like 2, 3 a.m. And I'm pretty sure my brother woke up scared as, but we just did not care. It was such a huge moment. Even for someone that doesn't go for Argentina, like I knew this was such a big moment, not for like Messi, but for football when he scored.
Yeah, definitely. It was that. This was another one I set an alarm to, missed the alarm to wake up and watch it, and I was filthy at myself. Probably, like from what I've heard, it was one of the best World Cup finals there's been, and you can see why it was an absolute ripper of a game. Lachlan, can you talk us through your second place?
Yeah, I mean, we've already touched on it like twice now, but it's Queensland winning the Origin series. I mean, being a Queenslander, it's what every kid dreams of. As Noah would know, living in Queensland, it's the pinnacle of rugby league for yourself. I mean, you go to school at that age, all you hear is State of Origin. All the kids are jumping around all day. They're keen for 7:30. They've got their party pies ready in the freezer. And then you go to school the next day, and if you lose, you hear from the 3 New South Wales fans that go to your school, or you hear from the 700 Queensland fans that are jumping around because they're absolutely ecstatic about the result. I mean, no Queensland fan can say that this wasn't one of their moments. I mean, if you watch the game, you watch the highlights, you still get the tingles down your spine. Watching Ben Hunt take that.
I was watching it yesterday, the highlights. Not even joking.
Yeah, and the fact that Cobbo goes down, Collins goes down, Tommy Dearden, I mean, it just shows what the Queensland team can do to players.
Kirk
Tom
was
Dearden,
center. He did a fantastic job
yeah.
covering in.
Tom Dearden walks into the team at number 6 and he absolutely carves New South Wales up on his own. He did more than Jerome Luai did in 3 games.
Corey,
Yeah.
Corey
Yeah.
Oates did a good job as well. He was fantastic in that game 3, Corey Oates.
Everyone
Yeah.
did their job splendidly, and that's what's great. Holmes did a job. Fantastic comeback for Holmes, being one of the best centers this season as well. Our bench did a great job. I think Tom Gilbert played. Everyone just did a fantastic
And
job.
if you haven't been to Origin, it needs to be on your bucket list.
And Sun Club
Oh,
I've
I
done
haven't
it.
been yet.
I've done it, but I was like, it was 2015, the year we lost to Cowboys in the final.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
so-
I told you guys, but I went to the 2017 game to Origin where JT had to kick from the sideline in Sydney with like a broken shoulder, and he got it
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Well,
I was there.
we won 52-6. It was Corey
Oh, was that
Parker's-
Oh yeah, the 2015
That's
game.
2015
Yeah.
game 3.
Oh, that was
It was
such a good game to watch.
it was
I remember
Corey
watching that
Parker's
on the
last
TV.
Origin.
My goodness.
Because
And
I
it was a
saw-
decider as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a decider, and in that team it was we had Gagai, Darius Boyd on the wings, we had Greg Inglis in the centers, Michael Morgan, JT, Corey Parker, Sam Thaiday.
What a team.
The list goes on. It was elite.
Oh, but we'll get back a bit back on track here. We're thinking about the old days and thinking, oh my, but no, the Queensland Origin win. Everything you said there really just summed it up very well. And I remember going to school back in grade 6. My school used to have the day of Origin. You don't have to dress up in uniform. You can wear a maroon or a light blue shirt. You go there, you tease your mates if they're going for the other team. Oh my goodness. And it brings back a lot of memories. And I remember sitting in front of the TV, watching it for the full 80 minutes, not really wanting to go up and do anything else in case I missed a second of the footy. It was, those were good times. But Queensland Origin win. Yeah, the Queensland Origin win, it was a very big moment. And I could see the way you explained it was perfect. For me, second place was the Socceroos road to World Cup and the World Cup result they finished with. Like Faraz mentioned a bit earlier, they had to beat Peru to make it to the World Cup, and then Redmayne with a beautiful save to get us into the World Cup, and then we didn't disappoint, made it to rounds of 16, nearly beat the team that would go on to win the World Cup final. It was very close, and it was such a good campaign to watch for the Socceroos. But you guys have already gone into it. I won't ramble on about too long. We'll quickly do honourable mentions before we go to our number 1 pick. I know Davos had one he wanted to do. I already have mine written down. We'll go to Faraz and Lockie and see what they have as well. But Davos, start us off here, mate. Your honourable mention.
Yeah, so my honourable mention is Nico Hines winning the Dalian Dalian medal. Nico Hines, even when he was at the Storm, he's one of my biggest inspirations. His road to the NRL wasn't easy. With his mum being in jail and dad coming in and out of his life. It took him a while to get to the NRL, and it was sad to see him leave the Storm. But I couldn't be happier for Nico. He's a fantastic player, humble bloke, and an even better person. I'm very happy that he won the Dalian medal. Even if it was Ben Hunt or him, I would be happy for both. But Nico's proved that he's the player he is through hard work, and I couldn't be happier for Nico. He's shown why he's a superstar of our game, and fabulous player.
Yeah, definitely. And before we continue on, make sure to keep leaving those comments in there. I've seen every single one of them so far. Thank you so much for all the people typing in the comments. It's been great having you here. And if you're still here, just keep typing comments. We'll get to them soon. Faraz, what about your honourable mention? What was another moment that stood out for you that isn't?
Okay, so I think my favorite one, obviously being a fan of this team, it's none other than Bangladesh beating New Zealand in the Test match in New Zealand. I mean,
mate, honourable mention. Honourable mention first.
Mention.
Yeah, not the first, not first place yet, mate.
Honourable mention. I guess you got to give it to Panthers winning back to back. I mean, look, even if you expected them to win it, it's outstanding how far this team has come. Don't forget, not only 2 years ago, you were just looking at this team. You just look at average plays. Cleary was average. Edwards, you didn't even know who the hell he was. Luai was average, playing at fullback. I don't even know who Crichton was. All these players that they came back together, like whether you hate the Panthers or not, what they've assembled is incredible, and I just can't see them stopping anytime soon. To win back to back, it's not easy. The last time it was the Roosters, and now the Panthers have done it. I think only 3 teams have done it: the Bronx, the Roosters now, and the Panthers. So history there, right in the making. Congratulations, they
You
deserve
reckon
it.
they go back to back? Oh, sorry, not back to back. You reckon they go three-peat?
Well, that's an interesting question. That's the next challenge. I think this year's their challenge now that they've lost Appy. That now they haven't lost Crawford this year, but the news has rocked them probably. I'm pretty sure they're going to lose a few more players. So this is their test right here. And if they win 3-peat again, because a lot of people are saying they might drop out of the top 4 and whatnot. So they win again. Hard to see this team dropping for a few years at least.
Lockie, what's your honourable mention just before we get to the first picks?
Munster snorting sand and snow. Nah. It's probably got to be. I don't know. It's hard for me personally. A moment that caught me by surprise and rocked me a bit, being a childhood hero, was the departure between the Brisbane Heat and Chris Lynn. I mean, you look at the Big Bash and everyone knows Chris Lynn. He's the face on every poster. He's the face on every ad. Everyone sees the 6. He hits out the Gabba about every single advertisement. I mean, it goes to for me, it goes to a deeper level with Lynn and I. We're not best mates, don't get me wrong, but he's helped me through things in the past. Personally, we messaged on Instagram. We've spoken in person, met him 5 times. So he's not a stranger. But I do hear behind the scenes of the Heat as well. I mean, it was for the better. And to see him, I know it's 2023, but to see him leave the Strikers with Matt Short scoring tons and he's still the second leading run scorer is an accomplishment in itself for Chris Lynn. And to see that he just needed a fresh start at a new club. And it was great to see him go well. Hopefully he's doing well mentally again. And I'm hoping if Heat don't make finals, Strikers winning a trophy because it still counts to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just say as well, this is a big moment for me. It's not really a sporting moment, but it really rattled me. I think hearing the news of Shane Warne passing, that hit a lot to me deeply. And look, I'll be honest, there's a lot of celebrities that you hear that pass away and that hurts you, but hearing Shane Warne's one rattled me completely. It really did, honestly, inside.
Yeah.
Not only Shane Warne, but Andrew Simons, Paul Green.
It's been a lot of legends pass away. It has been a sad year for that last year.
Let's not forget. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it's sad, but it's what's happened, and you can't really do anything about it. And sadly, that's just what happens. My honourable mention I talked about before was Australia retaining the Ashes. It was good to see the Australians do so well. And especially that being my first Ashes, I was so excited about it. But we'll head to number 1 picks. Davos, you've been ready for this one. What's your first pick for the best sporting moment last year?
Oh, I can't wipe the smile off my face. I mean, even thinking about it, I mean, I know it was only it was 6 months ago, but it was just one of the best days of my life. Queensland winning the series 2-1. I mean, a month before we won the series, I was going through some personal stuff that not many people go through, and to see Queensland win the series, it really hit me hard. It just showed what a team this is, and we have the next man up mentality. We lost players like Collins, we lost Cobbo, Ruben Cotter got injured. Corey Oates had to come in last minute. Coates got injured. It was a tough series, and to be honest, I didn't expect us to win it, but it just shows the Queenslander mentality that no matter what happens, we fight through adversity, and this was just one of the best days of my life, and you will never understand how much it meant to me.
Yeah, that's a good reason to have it number 1. Obviously, I feel like it's a bit funny. Davos has had that at 1. Lockie had that at 2. I believe Faraz had it at 3, and I had it at 4. So we also have it there. And I mean, we wouldn't be Queensland fans if we didn't have it in our top 5 there. So it was good to see. Faraz, your number one. Now you sort of spoke about it a bit before I cut you off, but Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Talk us through this one.
Well, this was a really interesting one because I knew this was going on during the time, but I actually wasn't following the first 2 days. I'm just like, you know what, another test match. New Zealand should just probably bat us out of this test match. And I'm looking at stumps at day 2. We're only 200 runs behind, but we only lost 2-3 wickets, and that's not typical when you see on these New Zealand pitches. Through the course of that day, Bangladesh kept fighting, but you still thought New Zealand should get the win anyways. And then enter Ibadat Hussain, one of the best spells of Test cricket this year into 2022, 6 for 38, fantastic, rolling out New Zealand for less than 200, only chasing 38, and it was emotionless, honestly. Look, because like as a cricket fan myself, I've seen Bangladesh go to like tours in New Zealand for like a long time now. 6 years, we've got 5 series, ODI series, Test series, T20 series. We've got belted in every series, and I've been watching every single one. And to see this one after all these years, it felt so nostalgic. Like me and my dad were so happy, and we all know how much like our Indians cricket lovers love cricket, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and whatnot. So beating and Test cricket is the pinnacle of our format. So to see New Zealand, the World Test Championships go down in their own home country was amazing. I'm trying to see if I have the reaction with my dad, but it was just really inspiring.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a good.
Yeah,
It's good to say. It is
Hey,
definitely.
at least you had pants on.
Yeah. But we don't want to talk about that one too long. Lachlan, send us through to your number one pick, which is a bit of a sad one.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to have a sad story, don't they? It's not. I know this video is about your favorite or the best sporting moments of 2022, but this is the biggest sporting moment of 2022. This is one of the saddest days that will ever go down in Australian history. He was one of the greats, one of the best to do it of all time in the sport. Everyone in Australia, as a kid, knew who Shane Warne was, no matter if you liked sport or not. He was one of the heroes. Everyone knew Steve Irwin was. Everyone knew who Shane Warne was. He's one of those guys that you just always look up to as a kid. Even though he wasn't in our time, you always see his highlights and everything. Seeing how many people and how many superstars of this world it rocked as well just shows the impact that he has. The fact that at his funeral, Robbie Williams, Coldplay, John Stevens, and a few others were performing just shows the impact he had. You don't see them every day. So Warnie's resting well. Mentioned to Andrew Simons and Rod Marsh, who also passed. I know Rod Marsh has sort of been swept under the rug, which is disappointing due to the passings of Warnie and Andrew Simons. But special mention to Rod Marsh as well. He passed away in my hometown. That all happened, and I spoke to Alan Border the next day after he passed. So credit to all 3 of them. They're all legends. They're in a good place now. Hopefully they're all having a beer or something up there, and who knows what they're doing. But that was my number one moment. Probably the biggest moment for everyone this year.
Yeah. Now, I personally, I was only just getting into cricket when at that point when he did pass, and I'd only just got into it, but I'd seen the highlights. I'd heard of his name even before I started watching Test cricket. I was sitting there one night. I think it was quite late. It was announced. I think it was like 11 Queensland time at that point. And someone sent me a message and just said, hey, I'm not sure if you knew, but Shane Warne's just passed. And I was thinking, no, surely not. And went all over the news. And honestly, it was quite sad at the time. He's not someone I grew up watching. Wasn't really someone I was like I sort of idolized, but it still was a very big loss for the cricket community at the time. And it really did hit a lot of people quite hard. So yeah,
Some thought it was fake news as well. That's how much
same
Same.
at first. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, and I hope his family's doing all right though. It would be a tough, obviously very tough for them, and hopefully they're healing from that because yeah, it was a tough one. Would either of you boys like to say something?
Oh, just yeah, it was like Lockie said, it was just it's a horrible day for Australia, and I didn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of prank that someone was playing on someone, and yeah, I teared up because I've always loved Shane Warne, and he's been one of my idols. I mean, he was the one who made leg spin. Everyone wanted to bowl leg spin bowling, and yeah, it was sad to see him go. But look, hopefully he's resting in peace, and yeah, he'll never be forgotten, Shane Warne.
True legend of that game.
And,
For us,
and look, and a lot of people are gonna laugh at me for this, but I really didn't care. It just ruined my mood. I actually saw the news at 2 a.m. early on, before most of the world woke up to see the horrific, tragic news. And as I said, a lot of celebrities you see that pass away, it breaks your heart. But this one truly rattled me. It ruined my mood straight away. It ruined my mood for the day. And I was just listening to depressing music because like it just straight out rattled me. And like I know a lot of us has criticized Shane Warne and his opinions, but he was truly a remarkable bloke. And like you said, even outside cricket, like he was known for much more than his spin bowling, and he's a true Aussie icon.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So you were a Stars fan for the day, were you? You were sad.
that is a nice way to lighten things back up, I tell you, because I have got my last pick. What I think was the biggest moment in sporting last year. And for me, it was the World Cup and Argentina winning the World Cup. Messi being sent off as probably the greatest of all time soccer player. And it was such a big moment. I really did want to watch this game, and I watched the highlights. It was a good game, really good game. France put up a good fight, but Argentina too good in the end. So I think if France ended up winning that, it wouldn't have been so high for me. But it's just the fact that Argentina lost their first game to Saudi Arabia. People were talking about how Messi won't win a World Cup. They start a comeback. They make it through finals. They beat Croatia pretty convincingly to get to the final. And then they beat France, who won at the last FIFA World Cup. So for me, that was a very, very big moment. And it was one of my favorite moments to watch at the World Cup last year. But yeah, it was very special. But that will wrap us up on our favorite moments of the sporting year last year. We'll go to a Q&A soon, but thank you to everyone who listened to that and watched on with that. Very, very good idea from Davos here, who's put this into us and said, listen, we need to do this. So thank you, Davos. Very good plan. We'll answer a few questions, though, because there have been a few people
Well, make it quick fire.
Yeah, we'll go pretty quick fire here. Try and keep your answers to probably like 5 words or less. Did you see Kyrgios go down? I did see that.
Yeah.
Sad to see.
Yeah.
Hope he's okay. Stars Hobart, who's more likely to win their first title in BBL?
Yeah, they get around the Hurricanes.
Sorry, Davos. Happy B-Day, Lockie. Vernon Snake says that was yesterday, but I'm sure he
Cheers, mate.
appreciates it.
Appreciate it.
Fave sporting YouTuber.
If you talk about the community,
I'd have to say Faraz Alam from the Final Siren podcast for me.
You know,
Big fan
I'll
of
go
his
someone
work.
underrated. I think Davos likes this person as well. Talks to him. Trademark Sports.
I love Trademark
Trademark
Sports.
is
Yeah,
good.
yeah, he's an absolute legend, that bloke. And big shout out to one of our friends from the friends from the community. We've got Nick from Australia. He's a great bloke, and hope you're doing well, mate.
Yeah, hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, the mental health stuff I've seen
Mine
in your
is
story.
YKTR.
Yeah, that's fair.
They are great.
Love Willie Mason.
Willie Mason,
Willie
he just
and
says it how
Smoke.
it is.
Yeah.
Anyone watching Australian Open? I'm not. I went
I
through
don't
the changes.
I don't usually watch round games. I'll usually just watch the finals.
If
Yeah.
if Kyrgios and Kokonakis were playing, probably.
Yeah.
But
And there's not even any Ash Bay to watch either, so I don't know.
yeah, exactly. She was the only other tennis player I really liked watching, so I'm sort of just like, eh. Who's better, Novak or Nick Kyrgios? I feel like
Novak.
Novak's accomplished more. So
Do you mean
For
no
me,
Vax or Curious?
yeah, I'm gonna go Novak for me personally. What
Yeah,
about you, boys?
Novak.
No fair.
But Kyrgios is well on his way. I also think that the whole thing with news and stuff saying he's like mentally unhinged, they fucking take a tiny bit of like one game he's played and make him seem like he's mentally unhinged. It's fucking stupid.
Typical media.
Yeah, T20 World Cup had massive upsets. It did, and I'm surprised it was on none of our lists. But
what was your main upset of that World Cup? Mine was
Ireland beating England.
Yeah, mine was Ireland beating England. So yeah.
For me, this goes a bit under the radar, and Namibia beating Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka also won the AG Cup and all that, so it's a big one there.
Yeah, I think the biggest upset was definitely Ireland beating England. And my favorite game from the T20 World Cup was the Pakistan. Was it Pakistan India?
Yeah,
that was a good game. That was a really good game. They nearly beat Argentina. Should have had it tied. I think this was in response to the Socceroos. They did.
Yeah.
Just some unlucky moments. Just some unlucky moments.
Matt Ryan, that was very unlucky for our goalkeeper. So it is what it is. But we'll be back next World Cup. What are you looking forward to most in 2023 sporting wise? Mine's the one-day International World Cup or Origin. I'll tell you what, since it's cricket season for me right now, I'm looking most forward to the World Cup. I'm looking forward to the NRL season, looking forward to Origin as well. But I'm really looking forward to that one-day International World Cup, especially after watching the test on Amazon Prime Video. I've been watching that recently. I was talking to the boys about it before. I've been absolutely just streaming the crap out of that. Already pretty much got through the first season. Only started watching it like yesterday. So yeah, it's been good and it's really got me prepared.
In general, for me, I'm looking forward to the One Day World Cup. But for now, my mind's on the footy season, round one. Ilston, bring it on.
Yeah, especially I can't wait for the NRL season though.
Yeah.
That's
Mars Broncos being premiers.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Davos? What's the sport you're looking forward to the most?
Mine is Origin. There's nothing's better than Origin. I mean, I'm a different beast when it comes to Origin. Like
we all are, mate. Trust.
Yeah, we all are. So,
and this guy's a bloody Victorian. Unbelievable.
Origin 3 as a neutral was so good. The Biff, how much confidence did you guys have as Queensland fans heading into match day? I was sort of 50-50. Obviously,
Can I be honest? The whole week I was actually nervous. But something about it, like my mates talking more shit and all that, saying they were going to win because we had no Munster. I felt like the pressure was actually on them. Like, what have we got to lose, honestly? We already won the unpredictable. And if we win, this is just more embarrassment on them. The media's going to cop them. So if we can just play with freedom and pressure, we can beat them. And heading into games, I was actually confident. Because if we win, it holds more accountability for us. Because we're not expected to win.
Exactly. There was much less pressure. And that's why I love being the underdogs in Origin. I absolutely love it. You live for that stuff. And still Sportsbet always have us I'll always have us as outsiders money wise. So.
Yeah, for me, I was confident we could do a job, but I wasn't confident we'd win because obviously Munster, Tuolangi going down with COVID, and then
Tuolangi didn't worry me at all, but it was just Munster itself.
Yeah, Tuolangi though, like
I was happy. Not that I was happy he got injured, but I was just happy Corey Oates came in. We needed to.
Corey Oates did a good job. Like, we lost Collins and Cobbo in the first 5 minutes, and then Gagai got sinned in for his biff with Burton. But no, I always knew that the players we had, like Carrigan, Arrow, they're just players that are just going to do their job no matter what. And, I was just so proud of the way we conducted ourselves, and I'll never forget that day.
Yeah, definitely. England choked Hobart Test. I can't remember which one that was.
68.
They did choke that. Yeah, they did.
68 that was. Chasing 270 odd.
Yeah.
Wasn't that pink ball?
Sorry?
Was it pink ball?
No, it wasn't pink ball. It's just like the Hobart Test. Was it? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Fave sporting players. I'm just going to go through my three favorite sports quickly, which is cricket, NRL, and NBA at the moment. My favorite player from the NBA is Donovan Mitchell.
Guess what? I can't play tomorrow.
I know, and I'm really my fantasy team's paying for it at the moment. He's been carrying me. My favorite cricket player at the moment is probably Marnus Labuschagne. I am a big fan of Marnus. Or Josh Brown also is. I'm really starting to like him.
Really?
And my favorite NRL player is probably Corey Oates. Honestly, absolutely love Corey Oates.
Oh, love Corey Oates.
Sorry, you boys go ahead. What's your favorite sporting player?
Lockie Davis can go first.
AFL, Christian Petrarca. Cricket, Chris Lynn. NRL. Thomas Flegler. No, kidding. I don't know. I have too many. I like all the Broncos boys.
Yeah. Paddy Carrigan's a good shout as well.
Yeah,
NBA Klay Thompson. Football. I'm gonna go. Ronaldo.
Thompson.
Cricket. I'm gonna go. Paddy Cummins. I've actually met him a few times. Had some good moments. NRL probably Corio. It's been there for a long time now.
Yeah, that's fair. And Davos, what about you?
AFL, Darcy Parish. NRL, Cameron Munster.
Who's that?
I'm kidding. Cricket, I'm gonna have to go with Marnus.
Not Glenn Maxwell.
Nah, Marnus. I love Marnus. He's an absolute gun. Basketball, Joel Embiid. And is there any others or nah? I think that's
Embiid. Wow.
Joel Embiid. Okay. Ashes in England will be good. It will.
It
And
will be
I
very
can't wait
good.
to beat them. Even the India series. Is that the test?
Oh,
I
that's
can't wait
next
for
month.
the test against India. I can't wait for the one-day international series.
Revenge against India for what they did
But
to
yeah.
us last time.
Especially after watching the. I'm sorry, I keep bringing it up, but that fucking the series on Amazon is so good.
When they beat
I
us
can't
at the
believe we
game,
didn't get
that
to
was
watch
the
it.
most depressing thing I've seen. in my
Yeah, it
life.
was. It
Yeah.
wasn't great. It was.
And
not
then
great.
especially we drew. I was there day 5.
What's better, winning Ashes in England or Origin? They're too
Origin.
different.
They both hit very
Too
hard, but
different for
I'm
me.
just gonna have to say Origin. I mean,
I honestly,
In
I'm
fo-
going
in
to say
footy
winning
season
Ashes.
Origin.
I guess I'm going to go winning Ashes in England because I've seen Queensland win a lot of Origin series now, and we've seen us win like the two unpredictable. So I
it
guess
never gets old
Hey.
though. Never gets
Yeah.
old.
Hey, be humble.
For me, it's winning. In footy season, it's winning Origin. In cricket season, it's Ashes. I really can't separate it. At the moment, I'd probably say winning the Ashes, but that's only because I'm in cricket season mode. And but as soon as NRL gets back, it'll be winning Origin or winning a premiership, definitely.
Hey, this guy with cricket's as loyal as a guy on Tinder. Bloody hell.
Ronaldo or Messi? Messi for
No
me.
debate. No debate at all. It is.
I'm a Ronaldo fan, but it has to be Messi after the World
Messi.
Cup.
I mean, if you're at the age of about 8 to 13 and you have TikTok, you'll say Ronaldo. If you're like 15 plus and you have common sense, you'll say Messi.
Okay,
but
so
Speed's
that
over
answers the
15.
question. We've all gone Messi. NRL top predictions in season 2023.
Well, guess what?
I'm guessing
Wait
it's
for the
50-10.
episode on that.
Yeah, wait for the video. Okay, I'm so sorry, but wait for the video. We got ladder predictions coming out soon. We're just waiting a bit closer to time. We'll do ladder predictions. Probably it'll be around the start of February. So you've only got not too long to wait. I know everyone's excited for the NRL season, and we are too. So we haven't got too many questions left. Davos, reckon Melbourne can be top 4 season 2023, season 2033. I'm sorry, is this the Stars or is this the Storm? I'm guessing it's the Storm.
Yes.
2033, I'll be 28.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's
I think,
2023.
I think has means
Yeah, there we go.
2023. Look,
Correct,
I think we can. It just really depends on how our new recruits like Tarek Sims, Joe Chan, Eli Katoa, and you know how Ryan Pappenhausen comes back from injury. But to be honest, I think we can. I think this will be our bounce back year, and I'm very excited.
Leah says, doesn't Mbappe and Messi play for PSG? They do both play for PSG. That would be a bit it'll be a bit weird when they both go back straight after
They already
Messi.
returned back. They're playing.
Yeah, exactly. Thoughts on India Test Series squad? I haven't really had a look at it yet.
I haven't looked at it.
If I'm being
I
honest.
only know that Renshaw's in. I know that Todd Murphy's in, a surprise inclusion. But yeah.
I thought they were talking about India's team, and I'm like,
No.
I'm not into India's
Yeah,
team.
Todd Murphy's a
Oh,
good young player. He's very good.
Yeah.
Our
I
squad,
find it a
yeah,
bit weird though because he hasn't really played any Test cricket, but maybe his domestic.
He's
stats
the heir to Nathan Lyon, so
hopefully.
I don't know why we picked someone looking like Harry Potter, but
I'm not too sure either. He really does. We've only got a few left, so bear with us here. I'm trying to find the comments again. My bad. Lockie and Noah, he got on over the Stars. Renshaw, wow. I'm not too sure there's much punctuation there, but Yeah,
What the hell?
yeah, we did get over the Stars. Very happy with that.
Who doesn't get
I
over
was-
the Stars right now? Who
I
doesn't?
was so scared. Oh my goodness, I was sitting there, and Lachlan's messaging in the chat. We're all messaging in the chat. Lachlan's like, he's not going to hit a boundary here. But it was reverse psychology, wasn't it, Lachlan? That was
Mate,
exactly
they call me Matt Kuhneman. What can I say?
Exactly. Apparently, Matt
Davis'
Kuhneman
face.
told Renshaw to play the
Yeah, he did.
play the ramp. Which
Well, can I just say, Stars bit themselves in the ass. They took too long. They had to bring a fielder up. If I'm going to be honest, if you're bringing a fielder up, that fielder was probably down at fine leg if they're allowed 5 out.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry, Stars fans. Sorry, Davos. But
Sorry, but
what do you mean Faraz had
watched it.
pants on? It's a bit of an inside joke. We won't.
So
Alright,
Nick
so
Sam, in the future, when we get 1,000 subscribers, we'll bring out another podcast called Behind the Scenes or the Before the Siren, and you will see
Before
on
the
there.
Siren.
You'll see on there a bit of a background of what we deal with Faraz on a daily basis.
I'm not the worst.
I can't
guy.
wait for that.
I'm the worst.
I'll tell you what. We'll stick to it. 1,000 subscribers, and we'll make it happen.
You think
Get
listening
us
to
there.
the India cricket fans is bad? Wait till you hear this guy.
Wait until you hear Faraz on a daily basis. It is fun to watch.
I work
as
in the
an Aussie-
chemist, and I'll tell you what, I've seen him there a few times.
As an Aussie, loved seeing New Zealand go down in New Zealand. I think this was in
I think you're referring
response
to the test
Bangladesh.
match, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't really watch it, so I can't say anything on it. Andrew Simon's passing was sad face emoji. I'm sorry,
Yeah, it
I didn't
was.
really want to read it like that, but there was no other way to read it. Yeah, it was. It really was. All the legends who passed, it was sad to see.
Wait, how did he?
Um,
if you don't mind me asking, how did he pass away? Did he get into an accident?
I think it
Or
was a car
Yeah.
crash. I'm pretty sure.
It was a car crash, but where
Was he drunk?
I don't know. That I'm not going to touch on it because I'm not going to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I saw the news at 3 a.m. before most of the world cried. Not going to lie, I think this was about Warney's passing though.
Mm.
Can I just
yeah,
say
it
special
was sad.
mention to someone else who passed during the year that we have missed out on? A legend of the rugby league side of the world.
Oh,
The ex-North Queensland Cowboys coach Paul Green also passed. So, without mention, he was also the Origin series was to him.
Yeah, exactly. Vernon the Snake just posted a bunch of laughing emojis. Not sure how to react to that, mate. Honestly, I'm guessing that was to some sort of joke made at 8:14. Davos, how to stop choking easy wins.
they just stop coming.
Davos, I'll give you a 1-minute rant on the Melbourne Stars.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it, man. Just let your
There's only
emotions.
there's
I
only
can
four
tell you-
questions after this left.
I can tell you're
Look,
done. Just go for it.
Oh, wait, here, I'm going to set a timer.
Free the arms.
All right.
Here we go.
Tell me when
Go
you're
ahead.
starting.
Yeah, go ahead now.
All right. What has happened to this team? We've got the worst freaking coach. We've got a bunch of players that don't give a shit about the club. Just freaking without no Maxwell, no Stoinis, they make up the excuses. Oh my God, we don't have Marcus Stoinis. We don't have Glenn Maxwell. No fucking excuse. We have no excuse. Why are we this bad? Why do we always lose to the Renegades, who are arch rivals? Why do we always lose to the Heat when they come down to Melbourne? Every time we come down to Melbourne.
What about the Sixers?
Let me finish. All right. Yeah, the Sixers, we've got 9 in a row against them. Every time the Heat come down to bloody Melbourne, they whoop our asses. Like it's actually laughable, this franchise. Like how have we
You've
not
got 18
won a
seconds.
bloody title? It's a joke. I'm fed up, and I don't even watch the BBL that much anymore because of how shit we are.
Okay, he finished with 10 seconds left to spare there, honestly.
Yeah.
Well,
before you
Davos,
want to
can I
say-
just say, Davos, you lasted longer than normal, so we'll move on.
Yeah. I guess, what's it called? What's it called? I guess Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus visits more times than the Stars.
Okay, moving on. Moving on.
Expectations for the NRL 2023 season.
If you're are you talking about team or like just in general?
Wait for the video. Wait for the huge NRL
West
video.
Tigers Premiers, baby.
Yep.
Gold Coast Titans
West,
top 6.
West Tigers ninth. That's
Foreign
my
signing
bubble.
of the year.
What do you do if Cowboys
Ken-
win the trophy?
Can Broncos win?
If Cowboys
sorry,
win
be
the
top
trophy,
6?
I'll die. Simple as that.
What?
Do your deal. I'll do your deal now.
Yep.
Cowboys win the trophy. I'll go bald.
Oh,
Oh, that is big. I'm not too sure you want to make that bet, Lockie.
No, you can't make the bet. They're not going to win, mate. Trust. Back yourself, mate. Ladbrokes.
Okay, well, someone record that. Someone send it through because we are making sure we keep that
Mate, the
footage. there.
Cowboys aren't winning the trophy.
They can't win on the road. That's fair.
Can Broncos be top 6?
yes, they can. And
If they
will.
stay injury free and Reynolds can play 90% of the season and Walsh fixes defense, no reason why they can't. But I'll take
Reece
7
Walsh, Reece Walsh is the big key here, I reckon.
100%.
Can they be top 6? Yes. Will they be top 6?
I don't know.
Yes.
Ash's scoreline prediction. Aussies
We
5-0.
win 4-1.
I'm
5-0.
gonna go. I'm gonna go
3-2
3-2.
Australia.
I think 3-2. In England, it'll be.
I don't
competitive.
actually think 5-0, but I want to.
I'm saying
I reckon
3-2.
we win. We win. It's either going to be 3-2 or 4-1. Weather can be
No,
pretty
we're not
bad. It
winning with
might be.
that
It might be
scoreline
3. It might be 3-1
Maybe.
because of it could get one of them could get rained out. I'm gonna go 3-1 just because I feel like there could be a game that does end up being drawn.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
my call, David Warner will not play the Ashes.
I hope,
think
look,
he will.
respectfully,
Rachel.
I know I'm not the biggest fan of David Warner, but I don't want him to play the Ashes because if he goes there, Stuart Brody's waiting for him.
Facts.
Daisy Khan says again, being in the trenches, then boom, Ben Hunt. I'm not sure what
Makes
this
it sound like
is.
a boxing
I
match.
think this refers to how Ben Hunt would just cop hate for so long
No,
and then
I think he's
These
not.
are
I
about
think he's,
Origin.
no, I think he's
Yeah.
basically trying to say that all New South fans were given to Queensland, and after that 2020, I think it was when I said that you sort of can make it look like a documentary, and then it's that moment that Ben Hunt picks it up, he scores a winning try, and then boom, boom, like that, something like that. That's my take on it, though.
I'm not sure. Daisy, you might have to.
You made it sound like a
still
boxing
you might
match.
have to
though,
just
Daisy,
tell
but
us.
yeah.
Tell us what you're talking about. And then the
I
last call
I
we have
haven't liked Ben Hunt that much since he left the Broncos, so I'll take it.
then
I've
Daisy
never
says,
hated him.
here we go. I think this was just before Dave started his rant about the Stars, and that is all the comments we have for an hour and 3-minute stream. It's been a long one. It's been a good one. I'll pass it over to Lockie to end us off.
Yes, so that's us for another night of the Final Sign podcast. The footy season is closing in, and that is our main sport in this. We've covered cricket this season. BBL's still going, so still expect that content to come. We will slowly ease our way into the footy season, as we will have prediction videos, as you've heard tonight. NRL commentary is coming this year as well for the first time, and even Davos and I might commentate an AFL game here and there, and if the boys want to jump in, we can. But it's been us once again for Noah, Davos, and myself. Follow the Instagram, the Final Sign Podcast. That's where you catch when we're going live. You'll see the daily post that Noah posts up. Credit to him with all the designs he does behind the scenes. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Final Sign Podcast. Like the video. We're trying to go big. If your boys are coming Magic Round, Noah and I will be there, confirmed. Faraz and Davos, question marks.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be there.
I'm 18 now. If you're 18 or you're under, just act you're 18 and I'll sneak you one, okay? So be there, be square, subscribe, and we'll see you next stream.
Cheers, everyone.